Alright guys, this is Dylan with Checkmate Vanguard here. We are back at it with deck profiles. We are here at BCS 2022 at Rosemont. We just got done with premium format and here with our good friend Bilal, Billy. He went 5-2 playing premium, playing Spike Brothers Toolbox. And you also seen on our channel known as Galley Combo, sort of what we called it. But he's been experimenting with this deck for months, testing a lot of different options, and he got rewarded for it. So, introduce it.
Hello, my name is Bilal. Nice to meet y'all.
You can just start.
Okay. Main boss unit is Rising Nova, just because when I stride, I have Force 1 and Force 2 to abuse it with having multi-attacks going against my opponent, attacking 12 times with 2 crit and another 10k. Just 4 copies of it, just my main target. I play 1 Greedon and 1 Maximum to try to do something to on my grade 1 turn, or on my me going first, copying with Rising Nova to swing 3 times with 5 drive checks in total.
So you get 1 regular attack through Rising Nova, you get your 1 restand through Greedon, and then you do your 1 attack through Juggernaut Max.
Them dealing with a 23 with 2 crit 3 times on the grade 2 turn, they will be hit very hard, and I won a lot of games because of this.
Combo's very nasty if you're not aware of it.
Next is my tech card, the grade 3. I use it for multiple reasons, for Naru's Gran, Aqua Force, anything to just get rid of removal, or Harmony. A lot of players played Harmony this tournament. This was able to snipe it out, so I can still do my combos. I just play 1 of it because I can constantly search it out through my deck.
Did it come up today?
And not really, because I didn't see my opponent call Harmony out. But at Shop Challenge and at other places, this did came up, and this wasn't a very important card that I use.
Okay.
My 3 counter chargers, only reason is for the Soul Blast and counter charge. That's the only reason I play it. I sometimes use the second skill if I don't find one of my pieces if I'm going first. So I would copy it, tuck a rear guard and soul, and draw a card just for that draw power to just dig through my deck to try to get the pieces I need for my follow-up. And the main reason I play this is this counter charge. So that's the only reason I would play this, is for the best counter charge spikes have. I play 1 grade 2
Dudley Mason. So what's the reason behind this one?
For some of the games I did, when I did try to play with Max and Greedon, the markers would stay on Vanguard where I needed them to be on the rear guard circle, and that's the issue I always fail on, not having another Rising in hand. So I was like, what is the best way to move them? This was the best way. I can always call it out with my strides, with my grade 1 that allow me to call 2 grade 2s. My deck is my toolbox, and this was able to help me constantly.
It doesn't need to be any more than a 1 of more or less.
No.
It's so searchable, so you don't need to worry about playing more of it, than it. So
for my right target going grade 2 is 2 cheerleaders, 2 of the Ronas, and 3 Davies, just because they allow me to call a grade 3, a free beater on the board.
Counter charger.
Calling out the grade 3 counter charge where I don't even lose anything. It was just a free call. I just thinning my deck out with more triggers and calling more pieces out for my follow-up. So these I would call. If I have 2 in hand, I would prefer calling this than this, because it's become a booster, making my rear guards 23, hitting that magic number, or hitting over 20, making it them dropping a 15 or taking it in general. And also stop them with defense triggers.
Also comes a booster. That's also kind of important to know.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fun card. Let's talk about this.
Effect Veiler. That's all I can say. The best thing about it is just targeting one of my opponent rear guards and shutting off the auto ability. This can affect shadows with what is it for Dagda. It stopped Night Storm. It stops so many decks, Great Nature, even like Naru's I went against with someone who was playing Cho, and they were swinging with like 43, 53. He swung it at first, swing with Van, because it was added in the battle. I had it in hand, call it down, a Guardian Circle, shutting off the auto ability.
AK killing the restand.
Yes, saving me a card in hand. This came up so many times, and it honestly shut down so many decks that people were not ready for this grade 2.
It sneaks up on them, and then when they realize it's too late.
In my opinion, you only play this at 2. I try to play this at 3. There were always 2 moments. I see it at the worst time, or I see it at the wrong time. When I played it at 1, I never see it. Playing it at 2 was the right option, and I never regret playing it. Only playing it at 2.
So this next card you can say is your third front row
My third
circle, more or less, you can say.
Yeah.
The number of people that had to pick up that card and read it today was unbelievable.
So many people. I mean, it's surprising if you hear. I get 4 attacks because of this dude, and for the fact that swinging in the back row center and also getting a 10k, it's just another high speed bracky in the back row center.
He still gets the Galleys 10 on top of all that, so he's just a 30k beater all the time.
So in total, I would play. These are my beaters I would constantly use on my grade 2. If I know I'm going against a deck that can kill me if they stride, I stay on grade 2 and I disabuse this.
Just getting over the magic number of 28 right now. 28 or 27 is just really solid.
One time my opponent put down a heal guardian, was at 30k number, no pass, got a draw trigger, gave the power to high speed bracket, he still had a guard. I was swinging at 30 and he was on grade 1 or grade 2. I was still hitting over that number and I really like this.
Grade 1s.
2 grade 1
Daisies.
The only reason I would play this is for Davies, the Deadly Davy, because there's a
grade 2.
The grade 2, yes. The grade 2 on play CB call a non-grade 2 Dudley. You call the grade 1. This grade 1 skill is Soul Blast, call it grade 3 Dudley. I get 2 units for not even using a CB because a grade 3 is a counter charger. It's just 2 souls for 2 units. Again, at the end of the battle, they will go back in the soul. I don't use it much. I only use it when I'm striding.
Doesn't matter when Galley's putting it back in the deck, really.
No. It's just there for a beater. Just hitting constantly attacking my opponent and rushing them down. 2 grade 3 searchers. I never really had an issue finding Rising Nova. I don't think I need to play any more than 2. And worst part, or best part is I don't need to always ride on Rising Nova because Maxim give me that defense play where it saved me so many time at locals, at this tournament. It's
extra 5k.
Just the extra 5k, saving me those cards in hand to just able to survive the follow-up. So even if it's 1, I usually see a grade 3 target and all I care about is the force marker if I'm striding.
And next into the most abusable card in the deck here.
You got your...
Ambush Dexter. This card's stupid.
I love it. I have nothing wrong with it. It was the best card I ever used.
It soul charges a card and then feeds everything else.
So,
literally.
This was able to allow me to abuse the grade 2 beaters I had. For example, if I call out the grade 2 cheerleader that call out grade 3, call him down, I still have 1 CB I'm playing with. The entire time I use 1 CB. Because that grade 3 give me a counter charge, place this down, call a high speed bracky and a cheetah in the background center.
So you get like 4 units for just realistically 1 counter blast.
It really is. I mean, that's all. And both are swinging for 3 of them are swinging over 20. My band is swinging for 10. That's giving my opponent shitting themselves at this moment. Guarding so many times. It's so abusive.
They don't think they're going to get punished for giving you 1 counter blast, but in reality,
1 is enough.
One is enough.
And some of my locals friends refuse to give me damage, and I don't blame them. They will get hit. Give me 1 damage, I can go a mile. If you think I'm going a little bit, I'm going...
This ruins Peace Reliant deck stays, honestly.
It does.
So,
and I would also recommend never riding it. It have a nice ride skill, but if I can ride something else, I would prefer keeping in hand.
Okay.
I played this other tech card, Holony. My strides are ability to call them out during battle phase, and sometimes it does come up when my opponent have to worry about it. I remember at locals I called this against a Grand Blue player, and it stopped one of the Dragon's attack, and I was able to survive following up my turn. I think it's not a bad idea just playing 1 of it. You don't have to, in my opinion.
It doesn't hurt because it's searchable.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't hurt at all. So just one of it at the
And
moment.
then trigger lineup,
You got
short and sweet.
for the trigger lineup I played, 1 over trigger, 4 of the grade 3 heal guardians, 3 crit strides, or no, 4 crit strides, 4 draw trigger PGs, and 3 of the stands triggers. These stands are very important for my combo. The skill is whenever I've been put in the bottom of the deck, put a card from my hand in the soul, bind a rear guard to bind it, and call it to an open rear guard circle.
AKA re-abusing on places.
Yes, for my combo play. For the tech cards, I try to play the grade 3 for more pressure, more power, realizing that I'm losing my rear guards. So I don't think wasting a spot for a counter charger for this isn't worth it. It is not worth it. I don't recommend playing this if you're playing a Dudley build. If you're playing a Dudley build, different story. This is more focused on the stride than a Vanguard, the boss unit. For the grade 2, I used to play this for the draw power, just giving that +1 and also minusing them their rear guards. But at a point where this is so late in the game, it's not worth it to get the draw power when I'm dying before I'm even getting to
It's just
stride.
a little too slow.
It's very too slow.
Strides.
3 of the new guy. You got a galley where his main focus is
He's a game changer.
he is. First part of the skill when a rear guard attack, that rear guard will get 10k, and at the end of the battle, it will put that rear guard in the bottom of the deck
Which procs the stand trigger.
to abuse it. And for the second skill, when he attack himself, Soul Blast 1 call 2 grade 2s or less units, call him to open rear guard circle. All the units at that present moment get boosts. So if I have a grade 2 in the back row, for example, Davey, he will get boosts, where allow me to call 2 more stand trigger to abuse them even more.
You don't have to go too much into these. These are just kind of options.
I mean, it's still option for them to learn. Like this really help against Narus, because what this does is bind 3 of my rear guards, call 2 for every face-up card in the G zone.
So you get units that are lost forever.
Yes. And it's slowing them down on a bind they have, giving me more units and more to play with the bind. Also, it's just a draw 1, and I'll also activate charge for stand triggers whenever they've been placed from anywhere else from hand.
And
they can just proc with that.
If the game goes too long, you have this, of course.
GBA. I mean, it's just a great way to just have multi attacks and just finish off the game.
It just kills.
2 of this. I only go to this if I'm my opponent making me play slow. For example, Chaos, Narus, any control deck. This the main skill is CB1 flip something, draw to the equal amount of face-up cards in the G zone. If I have 5, I draw 5. That's the main thing. Just drawing just for the draw power to follow up my next turn to kill them. He doesn't get a skill to Soul Blast to give a rear unit 10k.
Not once per turn.
Not once per turn, no. And the last skill, I never use it once, but when your opponent put 2 cards in the guarding circle, CB,
Draw 1, call 1.
put a rear guard in the soul, and call a card from hand. You don't draw.
Okay.
It's just another attack, but they play around it. When someone can play around that, it's not that
He
good.
just draws cards.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this against Ghidorah. Main skill is Soul Blast 2. When a rear guard that does not hit with a force marker, Soul Blast 2, flip something, draw a card, and call a card from hand. Main focus is I cannot call anything from deck. This call from hand, also not once per turn, allowing me to just G flip even more.
Turbo for GBA.
Yeah, whenever I have to, if I'm in that case. Special card I use is this guy.
Does he ever come out?
I know, but it's just in case if my hand is filled with triggers. If I cannot call out pieces for some reason, if I'm at GBA, call this down, get a full board on. I get a full. I get 3 units, but I just need any units from the deck. I need something to call on to activate their skill. For example, Davey, Dexter, all of them have on places. This can they can activate 1 place on, giving me basically a free board to play with.
Okay. And then G guards.
G guards, I love her so much.
Recycles, gets power, gets shield,
and draw a card.
And draws a card.
Just to recycle and draw a card and save this deck so much on it. CB doesn't matter when you have a really good counter charger that you're putting it back in the deck. I love this card so many times because it saved me so many times. I only play 2, and I think you only have to play 2. 2 of the G Flipper. It become a 45 shield for free. Nothing else you need to ask for. Skill is you can pay the cost to put a rear guard in the soul. After that, it gets shield. It get 10k shield for each for every 2 open rear guard circle, making it a 45 shield. That's all you need to know about this one. I play 2. I play 1 of this. He can recycle back any units, including my over trigger or my grade 3 heals. What I usually do is put the heal I would discard. I would put it back that a over trigger and a grade 1 or a grade 2 to put back. Skill is I get 10k shield if I put back 3 any different grade from solo drop. And I play 1 of Dismal for the grade 2 promo. The grade 2 promo, that the effect failure can also happen if it intercept. Sometime my opponent would attack into it to try to kill it off. I would Dismal it, follow up to intercept with it to stop the turn. So that's the only reason why I would play 1.
We'll just go quickly into like some of the. You did play the legit. This premium here was wild. It was pretty much, no lie, it was MFD, Ripples, Narus. It was all here. No bullshit. So, and you did play against them, and you did convert.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I didn't lose any of the Ripples. I won against the Ripple player I went against, where it was like, he sucked. Like, can I just explain like throughout this very quickly? Chaos. One of the rounds was Chaos, where he locked one of my rear guard circle. At that point, I kind of lost the game. I know what I misplayed. I know what I should have done, but Chaos was just a difficult time. Second game was Ripples. I was shitting my pants because I had to G assist. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna die. But he ride grade 1 Odysseus and damage check Odysseus. So, you know what?
You saw a green light.
I said, yeah, fuck it. I said, I'm gonna hit him to the wall. I call out the Cheetah, the grade 2, the grade 2 high speed Bracky, grade 2 Cheetah, and a grade 3 and a grade 1, and my Vanguard is grade 2. I said, screw it, I just did a grade 2 game him. He decided to not to ride, even though he had a grade 3 he could ride into. I said, in my follow-up, I would ride Rising Nova. Only had maximum, but allow me to have 6 attacks that turn, 2 Vanguard swings. He couldn't survive it at all. Follow-up was DI, had 3 Vanguard swing. One of the swings he made a 2 pass. I got a crit and a draw trigger. Follow-up with Irrigators. I went second. He ride skip. I can't really do anything about that. Last one was Vanquisher. I got to stride first. I killed him on my first stride turn.
You essentially got to do your full combo of your toolbox, and they had to pick up your galley and figure out what it did, and that's all that really needed to be said, really.
Yeah, they had to figure out what my deck was all about. Once I swing with Van, call 2 more stand trigger. The whole focus is to call these out, abuse them with force markers on them, having at least, at the very most, I can have like 12 to 15 attacks with my build.
Essentially, you know, if people weren't prepared against this, they got punished. It was that simple.
And even if they got prepared, it's still at a point, oh, I don't want to give you damage. We can play the long game. I can get to GBA. Once I get to GBA, you lost. And that's all I can say about that one.
All right. Well, I think Bilal, I'm so glad he, kind of proved a point that, it wasn't... He did play really strong. That's all I gotta say. He did strong. So happy for him. He almost got his top. He almost did. But maybe next time. Maybe next time, right?
Maybe.
All
Hopefully,
right.
if the former isn't shit.
All right. This is Dylan Checkmate Vanguard signing off. Hey peeps, Dylan Checkmate Vanguard here. Cardfight Vanguard Overdress is now here. We look forward to releasing more deck profiles and epic matches this new year of Vanguard. Thanks to Rivals Gaming for the support, as well as our entire locals community.